So this is kind of going to be a walkthrough of the ProPresenter 5 software and the way we use it. So I'm connected remotely to the Mac that runs the software. So this is the output screen that shows in the projector. This is the library, the database of all of your files that you have. You can search as well, and it will search your library. Below that is a playlist where you take all of your library songs and organize them for the future, so you don't have to just do it all on the spot. You make little playlists, and you can organize your day, your event. This is the area where the song or presentation is going to show up, and when you click on things in there, it will show them on the screen, like so. And to close out of a slide, to close out of everything that's on the screen, there's a clear all button at the top. Now if we want to import a song from Song Select, which is normally how we will add songs, you can search the CCLI number here or the title and hit enter. When you select the song, it shows you preview on the side, and then you can hit import. These settings have been working for us, so we've been leaving them as what they are, except for the template. So for template, you're going to want to go to Songs and then the template one under Songs. Select Import. You close out of the Song Select window, and then we'll search. There it is. So the formatting is mostly done because of that template we applied to it, but we do make it uppercase. So if you right click here on the song and you go to Reflow Presentation, it shows it in a different view. So you can make edits here as well as another place I'll show you in a minute. Unfortunately, the easiest way to keep the way that it's organized already from the website, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, etc. The easiest way to keep that and the color scheme is to highlight each individual section, right click on it, transformations, and then make uppercase. And you do that one by one. If you don't, it does, if you select all of this at once, right click and do the uppercase, it will change all of this to like verse 1. They'll all be blue. So if you don't know the song that well, this will actually save you time in the long run. Sometimes there are repeated slides like this that I don't include as well, especially if there's already a Jesus here. Sometimes I won't include this one. So we can actually get rid of some in certain circumstances. You can do that. Here we go. So we'll continue to do this until all of our slides are uppercase. Okay, so now that we're done making all of our slides uppercase, they're all the same colors and the label is still the same. We can hit save. And then what you have to do is you have to toggle back into your, you have to click off essentially and click back on it to have the effect make a change. So now you can obviously see they're all uppercase. What it does from CCLI, from Song Select, is they sometimes will put ending and chorus and bridge on some of these slides to designate what they are. We don't need that. We don't want to put that on the screen. So we'll right click and then you can edit the slide. And this brings you to a different view and you can scroll around to the different slides, double click or just click twice in on the text box and make changes that you need to make. You can copy and paste entries in here as well. There is another way to make changes. Once you hit the X, it'll go back. But there is another way. Let's say I wanted to, I don't like the way that this looks where me is on its own line. I want to make it beside me be on one line. So you can actually right click on this slide, do a quick edit, brings up this window, and you can make your changes there and just hit the X when you're all set. It makes the change right away. So let's say you're in the middle of a song, you can make a quick change for a slide that's down the line, and it'll happen pretty quickly. So it saves you a couple seconds. So the other thing is, I like the way this slide looks now, but some of the other ones don't look great. This one looks top heavy, which it might because the word Jesus is right at the bottom. So I'll go in, make my changes. What I like to do, if you know the song, if you don't, I would recommend listening to it, or if you're preparing the slide when the worship team is singing, just edit the slide that they're currently singing, and it makes it a lot easier. Like I know this song, there's a break after truth, like a short break. So it's kind of, this is a breath, this is a breath. So it's kind of neat to do it that way. It makes it easier for the people looking at the screen to follow along. And the slides don't look so jumbled up with the words everywhere. There. So this side looks a lot better to me than this one, or especially this one over here. So I'm going to continue to do that for this song, make the edits that make the most sense to me, and I'll come back when that's done. Now I noticed on this slide here, for whatever reason, these two are a pair. These are the chorus slides. This is kind of like a stanza. This one should be the first slide on the first line on the next slide. So I will bring that over there, do backspace on there to make it line up. Make a space up here, oops, and paste it in that area. So this is like one breath, this is another breath. Okay, so now I'm done making my edits for the most part. What we need to do now, or what I like to do, is instead of just having chorus be gray, the bridge is gray, I like to right click on them and then select the group label, which gives it a name and a color that's custom, so it identifies what it is. Now the bridge is here. Now the reason it's stopping, like it doesn't just go green all the way through, is because this is designated as a group already. If it wasn't, like let's say this group here says miscellaneous 2 from song select. Let's say if I ungroup that, that'll go away. See how it turns all orange? Because whatever it sees before it, it'll make that the same color. If I say this is the chorus, regular chorus, it'll change it all to green. I don't want to do that, so I'll do those chorus 2, and then this is just the ending, I suppose. So we'll select ending. So that's how to kind of designate what the colors are, how to make the grouping of the slides, how to make uppercase. Something else I like to do is before the slides we'll put a slide that's got a background on it. So this button at the bottom will add a slide within your current presentation or song. It usually adds it to the last place you were selected, which is okay that it's here. See how the blue line will outline the slide? As long as that is the only slide selected, you can drag and drop up here. So now, oh, and the other thing is, if it's not grouped already, it will take the group that you put it in, essentially. It'll adapt to the group that it's going to be landing in. So now that we have this slide here, we need to put a background in it to get the song started. So we'll go to video and image at the top. We're already on song backgrounds, so I'm just going to select a random song background right here. We can drag and drop this and just plop it right in there. So when we play the song now, you click on here, you got your motion background, and all the slides after it will keep that background because they're on a different layer. This is at a text layer, This is a background layer, and I can show you what I mean. Instead of pressing the clear all button, there's a clear slides and clear backgrounds button. So clearing the slides only will clear the top layer, essentially. It'll clear the text off, and clearing the backgrounds button will leave the slides, leave the text layer on there. But if you click back on this background, it'll get rid of the text because there's no text on this slide in particular. Just keep that in mind when you're doing the presentations, when they're live, essentially. When they're live. The output window, the output screen here, you can toggle it on and off. Usually this button for the screen is accidentally off, so just know it's there to make sure that it's on. That's usually an issue that happens. If you do want to make a custom song or custom presentation, you can click the new button at the top here, or this gear and then new document, name it, select the category, and you keep the size the same. That's the default resolution of the projector. Again, you can select the template if you choose to. And again, you'll have to search it here, click on it, and then it'll bring it up. Since adding a document just puts it into your library, it doesn't actually bring it up here unless you select it. So from here you can right click, go to edit the slide. Since we gave it the template already, it's got our text box ready to go. Double click on it, and write anything you want. And then you click off of it, and there's your new slide. You click plus button, you get a new slide. Something else you can do is copy and paste slides. Another way you can do it is from this screen. So the edit slide screen or this main screen, you can still copy and paste. The reason I'm selecting this even to paste is it will put it in the next slot available when I select this slide. So if I were to select this guy and paste, it would go after it. If I want to delete most of these, you have to select an open area to the right of the last slide. You can hold down and select multiple, then let go, right click, delete, or do whatever changes you need. If you do need to select individual ones, honestly it might be easier because it's real hard to select the one you want sometimes. I would just right click and copy and paste that way. If you get a text message from the nursery, that means that they need some assistance by the child's parents. So you can click on messages here. We're going to select nursery number. I'm going to go to this button which edits the message. In this message text here, you can select, you can type whatever is in that text message. And when you hit show message, it'll display for whatever time you select and go away on its own. If it's not working, if it's coming up, when I hit show message, it'll come up in the corner. And this will show up on top of whatever's on the screen, no matter if it's a video or a song or whatever. If it doesn't show up the way it's supposed to like this, that means the template is the wrong one that's selected. So you can go here. We don't want songs, we want nursery actually. So we'll select nursery and show message. It'll be there. If you don't do that, if it ends up looking something like anything else, something that you don't want, just go into here, select nursery, template 1, show message, and you can feel free to just clear out of here, continue clicking on slides that you have or watching the video that's up on the screen. This will go away on its own. It's on the top layer above everything else. So if I want to create a new playlist, you can go down here. Let's say I have a new event that I wanted, so I'll create a whole new group. And if it ends up in like a subfolder like this, which I don't want, you can rename it, click on the icon, then drag it, drag and drop all the way to the bottom. You won't have to make those very often. You'll be working more within them. So now within here, I want to create a new playlist in that folder. And now we can work in this area. So I don't want to create a new document necessarily. I want to drag things into this new playlist, which is in blue. So I will grab this. You have to select it and then drag and drop into this area. So now it's in here. You can grab any other documents and put them in here. You can organize them by clicking and dragging into the appropriate order. You can just as easily right-click and remove from playlist, which isn't going to delete it from your library. It's just going to remove the shortcut, essentially. So test is still here. It's not showing up in the playlist anymore, which is okay. Another thing you might want to do is play a DVD. So right now, there's a DVD button on top. When you have a DVD in the DVD drive of the Mac, when you select the DVD menu option that you want, let's say it's within a couple of menus, click on that menu. As soon as it starts, as soon as it's where you want it to be, hit the Set button right here under Start, and that will set the time, title, and chapter. You can name it, and if you want it to just run to the end of whatever that is, you just uncheck End. Hit Save. It'll put it into, this is kind of a DVD playlist over here actually. And then once you do that, this is specific to the DVD. So if you put in DVD A and you make clip 1 and 2, they'll show up on the side here. As soon as you hit this eject button over here and take out the DVD, put in DVD B, it'll show whatever options you have for that DVD. It remembers per disc. Importing Bible verses. So we purchased one Bible, an NASB version. So you click on the Bible button at the top. This is the Bible that we purchased. You select the book and then the chapter, and it gives you the entire range of that chapter, verses 1 through 32. You probably won't want that, so you go into here and then you can make your edits. So I only want verses 2 through 5. Hit enter. There they are. From here, if you're not in the right place that you want to be putting them in your playlist, you can just hit the X. Go to that location. Let's say I want to be in Sunday morning message, the message playlist here. If you right click on one just to get it to be like the last one selected, so you know the Bible plugin kind of knows where you want all the verses to land. Then you go back into the Bible button. You've got your verse set up already. Click on this gear at the bottom and then copy to current document. That's going to copy both of these slides to your current document after where you selected. You can continue to do this to as many as you want. You can also type in whatever verse it is. You don't have to go through this drop down method at all. So just know that. And you can do multiple back to back. You can do whatever verses you have. You don't have to keep checking where they're going, as long as you check like the first one. You want to make sure that they're going in the right place, in the right playlist, and in the right file. But once you check the first one, you know that they're going to go sequentially after that as you select them. So this is something right here. For me, I don't like the look of this where this is full and the verse ends here. It's on one line essentially. So what I like to do is I'll go into edit slide, and I'll take like the last verse, maybe 2 depending on how much there is. I'll just grab this whole section and I will cut, and I'll go to the slide below it, and I'll click right at the beginning and I will paste, and just make sure that it looks fine, like the spacing isn't messed up. So now you have verses 1 through 4, or sorry, we only selected 2 through 4. So we have verses 2 through 4 here and 5 here. Let's say you downloaded a picture or video to the Mac that you want to add to ProPresenter. You go to the Finder. It's probably in your Downloads folder, and this is ordered by date modified. So you just drag and drop it into your document that you have, and it shows up as a new file. Once you click on it, it plays over in this corner. If you download a picture or video to the Mac that you want to add to ProPresenter, there are several ways you can do it, but here's just a couple ways that you can. You open up the Finder, it'll probably be in your Downloads folder, and these are ordered by date modified. So you just take this file, drag and drop it into, you don't want to put it, unless you do want to put it on top of here, you want to land it in the middle so it makes its own slide. Another way is to have it show up directly in the playlist as its own kind of section, like the announcements is a section, countdown is a section. So you can also drag and drop into the playlist window, and then it creates its own little entry. So as we're working on certain things, everything that we edit, except for this entry, this is one reason why I don't use it, I just drag and drop into a file, is that they turn orange. White are files that haven't been edited since the last time the program has been open. Orange means that they have been edited and they need to be saved. So if you go to File and Save All, it will save all the documents that are orange, essentially. Another thing to note is that when you go to quit the software, it'll ask you, you have some pending changes, would you like to save them? So that Save All option is just the same as doing File, Save All.